Hey folks, Kilt-Man here. Kilt-Man. This covers it. Folks. Getting a bit chaotic around here. All the wolves. And of course they're all molting because it's approaching summertime. Turn that down a bit now. Hey folks, Kilt-Man here. Yes. At your service. Now again you will see me sporting the moobage. And I'm semi-nude. Why? I'm not posing. It is so incredibly hot. This is Easter weekend and it is blisteringly hot here. It's great. It's great, absolutely great, but it's astonishingly warm. Even the Kilt kids got up remarkably early when they didn't have to go to school, but they still got up really early because it's too hot. Oh, it's too hot. It is. It's getting really super, super hot. And after the big lengthy summer that we had in the UK last year, there's no such thing as global warming. Trump, tosspot. I expect there to be a fucking drought and the UK is going to become a desert. We'll have Bedouins traversing the open sandy plains before long. It's craziness, craziness. Anyway, it is now Easter Saturday, so Easter Chocolate Day is tomorrow. And nothing says Easter to me more than the Howling. Joe Dante's fabulous 1981 werewolf sort of comedy. It's got its tongue wedged firmly in its fanged cheek, fairy cheek. But it takes its werewolves quite seriously. Although it is like a satire and it has lots of references to all the other werewolf movies going. I'm not reviewing the film, although I love the movie. I've discussed it and American Werewolf, which is him. There's the big American Werewolf. I couldn't get a Howling mask because there isn't any Howling masks, to my knowledge. I would love them because they actually are my favourite werewolves in cinema. Because these fuckers grow to like 8 feet tall. And out of all the werewolf lycanthrope types that you see in the movies and that, I prefer them to stand upright on 2 legs because it's more sinister, they've got some semblance of, they are a man thing, whereas in American Werewolf, he changes into a bloody big wolf. And that's what it is, a monstrous wolf, and it is great. And of course, 81, The Howling and American Werewolf came out very close to each other. I have discussed this before, but a quick resume. Rick Baker, Oscar-winning Rick Baker, who did the effects for American Werewolf and got the Oscar for it. In fact, they created the awards just for him, basically. Best special effects and special makeup effects. And he trained Rob Bottin to do the effects for The Howling. Rob Bottin would go on to do The Thing, Legend, Total Recall, RoboCop, and a specialist in gore and latex stretchy faces, as Rick Baker himself was. So Rick Baker had to leave because he promised director John Landis that he would work on the big werewolf picture he was planning, American Werewolf, even though he'd started The Howling. So he had to leave that, jump ship, but he gave all the secrets away. He trained, he tutored, he coached Rob Bottin. So all the stretchy faces, the latex, the stringiness, the prosthetics, he already learned them, and The Howling came out first. Now, I know, it's all subjective, it's fun if you're a movie buff, so you go like, which is your favourite werewolf transformation? And obviously everyone goes, oh, it's American Werewolf, it's the best, it's the most technically achieved because it happens in a brightly lit room, and it is wonderful. It is a wonderful thing. But the one that scares me most of all, and the one I enjoy most of all, is the one in The Howling, where Eddie Quist, played by Robert Picardo, who went on to Star Trek fame, he plays. Eddie Quist is a sexual serial killer called the Murdering Messiah, and what he's done, he's been butchering women, but he's been eating them as well. Finally, Karen White, played by he's a TV journalist, a newscaster, reporter, presenter, played by the luminous Dee Wallace, who was Dee Wallace Stone because she married her on-screen husband in The Howling as they made this movie, so he became Dee Wallace Stone, and she gets lured into a trap by him because he likes her coverage and he wants to tell his story to her, so he lures it into a seedy porno theatre and he puts the money in this lot and a vicious rape scene takes place, and he begins to transform behind her. But two cops, one a rookie, burst in there because they hear like the screams and all this kind of stuff going on, and they just pump bullets through the door and they kill Eddie Quist. In shock afterwards, Karen White then goes to the colony, which is like Patrick McNee from Steed from the Avengers. He runs this as a guru, this little sort of Northern Californian enclave for people with problems. And on the surface, they all seem very great people, very friendly. They're all fucking werewolves! Anyway, I'm not going to go into all the ins and outs of the movie. It is a fantastic film. Funny, horrifying, dead scary. And the sequence where I'm going to play for you, because it's scored by the great Pino Donaggio. Where do you reckon he comes from? Not Scotland, is it? And he worked a lot with Brian De Palma. He'd also worked with Joe Dante previously on the film Piranha. Remember Piranha? Poor old guy puts his feet over the jetty, into the river, and he pull him back out and he's just got like his legs have gone, they're just like bony stumps. Great film. But Pino Donaggio did a score for that, and so Joe Dante requested him back. At this time, Pino Donaggio couldn't speak a fucking word of English, so everything had to be translated and interpreted for him, and he did a great score. I have a love-hate relationship with Donaggio, because when I love his scores, I really love them. But when I hate them, I really, really hate them. Because sometimes Brian De Palma's film Dressed to Kill, with Michael Douglas as a cross-dressing serial killer. Michael Caine as a cross-dressing serial killer. He does, and Angie Dickinson in the famous, sex scene and the shower nudie bits and all that, and she's the first victim. Anyway, Donaggio, for what is a stylish, Americanized Italian stalk and slash giallo thriller, he comes up with this lush, romantic, swooning score which is so over the top and does not fit the visuals. And this is what I find with him. His scores sometimes are just manufactured out of something he's imagined, but that's not what's happening on screen. Anyway, let's go back to the main thing. Karen White has discovered what's going on, and she discovers that Eddie Quist is still alive. She discovers the body of her mate who's come to help her. The gorgeous Belinda Balaski, who I've always had a crush on, always loved her. And she had her throat torn out. And they're in this sort of shadowy, nightmarish, they're in the community centre. And anyway, Eddie Quist, he announces, Karen, good to see you, good to see me back again. And he's got bullets, he's riddled with bullets, of course, but they're not silver, so he didn't die. And famously he says, I want to give you a piece of my mind. And he reaches into his skull and pulls out. People go, it's a bullet. People go, it's a bit of brain tissue. It's a bit of both, really. But the chunk comes out like that, and he begins this epic transformation. He begins to grow in size. His hands, his fingers stretch out. But it's in shadowsness, unlike American Werewolf, which is in a brightly lit living room. So everything can be seen. You hide things in the shadows. But this is a spine-tingling sequence. People go well, it goes on for minutes and minutes. I'm going to play the music in a minute. But it goes on for a long time. And Karen White just stands there and watches. And everyone goes, what the hell? You'd run? Of course you would. Of course you fucking run. Or would you? I've seen people be confronted with the most horrific things. Violence on the street, car wreckage, fire. And they've been rooted to the spot. So, it's not that. It does have some crazy little bits of motifs in this as well. But anyway, I've seen people rooted to the spot before, paralysed with fear. That's where the phrase comes from. Paralysed with fear. You cannot move, you're rooted to the spot, transfixed and horrified by what's taking place before you. So, yeah, in that context, plus, you've never seen a man transform into a werewolf before, so I'd be kind of fascinated. I'd be jealous too, because I want to do it. Although it's clearly painful, you hear the bones cracking and all this sort of stuff. But he's clearly enjoying it. He's showing off. And that's what I like about this scene. He's not like David Norton in American Werewolf is in agony. He's terrified of what's happening to him. He can't control it. It's, you know, his mind's going, you know, but his body's all breaking. Eddie Quist, though, has been through this 1,000 times and he loves it. It's painful, but he's like, and he goes, "Roar, roar," as he throws his big chest out. Roar. He gets taller and taller. His face stretches out. He changes colour. The hair begins to grow. The hair is very similar to that. And he just stands upright. And they've got the dog leg right as well. Remember in Dog Soldiers, where they had the ballerinas, the dancers on those stilted legs to get that dog leg effect? Well, they did it in this as well. And looks great, looks great. Big hulking brute. And just when he's going to put the bite on it, there's like a big tub of acid. Of course it is. Hydrochloric acid's behind it. Takes it off, whoa, and just chucks it all over. Steam, fire, whoa, fucking hell. And she makes a getaway. But anyway, that's beside the point. Let's get to this sequence, because I want you to hear how Donaggio creates this nightmarish, otherworldly sort of environment, this soundscape of sheer blood-curdling suspense, tension, and body horror. Listen how it changes from like sort of horror theme to a more sci-fi element, as you know, different effects come in, synthesized effects. In a lot of the score, he has a church organ. He found this very old and esteemed church organ in, I don't know, somewhere in Italy anyway. He found it in this old disused church, and he went, "I'm using that." And it's a great effect in the score as well. Anyway, let's get on to transformation. Well, yeah, it is Eddie Lives Again. Turn it up now. It does some great, you know, piercing, shrill strings. This is just eeriness, you know, as Karen is about to encounter her nemesis again. I'll be sucking whiskey later. We're not, folks. So it's kind of tragic as well, it's wistful. It's not the kind of reunion you really want. And she just found the body of her best mate as well. Eddie plays a trick on her because the body's under a shroud on his table. And when she retreats to try and, you know, get some help, he comes back again and the body gets up because he's moved the body and he's lying there. Here we go. Getting his transformation. It's great. Woodwinds and brass. Symbol clashes. It's getting bigger. He's kind of laughing as well. And the way the face stretches out, it goes into a grin as well, a Joker style grin. I love that. Karen's just like that. In Monster Squad, they discovered that Wolfman's got nards. She could kick him, she could hoof him right in the bollies, in his fair balls. You hear the synth. There's pops, flesh, muscles, sinews are growing, popping out. His fingers are getting claws, ears. Sort of sci-fi. Now in the film, this section is slightly muted. Come on. trying to create, the musical effect of it, the musical voice, what's happening. You can have some lovely old cello player. You just want to watch fucking, someone get their throat torn out and someone changing into a man beast. I love it. It's so extensive. Now listen. This is the sort of reverie that Karen's been in after her trauma when she first met Eddie. As well, these guys. That was the transformation. The overall score is very, very eerie. Although there's some little comedy motifs, because you've got the great John Carradine in there, and he's like the oldest werewolf there. Quarantine was meant to be wild and all this. And he's they're all like hillbilly bumpkins. Slim Pickens is in there as well, and they're all like these old, quaint, old rustic types. By daylight, they're all friendly as fuck. At night time, when they shapeshift, they're badasses. And so you've got the little comedy moments with the big barbecue on the beach that you have. It's just getting to know everyone. But the majority of this score is suspense and tension. And it's really, really good. In fact, I might go on to another little bit here. Wolf at Dawn. This is where Karen's mate, played by Belinda Belasky, who I said before, I adore her, gorgeous. She's being pursued by another werewolf. It's Eddie Quist's brother. That's a church organ there. Big. Love that. The way that echoes the motif. So she gets pursued through the woods, ends up in his cabin, which turns out to be Eddie Quist's old home. She recognises all the pictures and stuff because he's a bit of an artist as well. The big werewolf, Eddie's younger brother, is going to lay siege to this cabin. Backs her down indoors. She gets out of a window and drops down to the outside, falls into the cold bunker thing. And he reaches in with his big fairy hand, and she finds an axe and fucking cleaves and severs it. And in a great effect, you see this horrible, gnarled, fairball fucking claw paw crawling across the ground. And it turns over and begins to transform back into a human hand. So, really speaking, good job I brought that. Similar effect there to when Karen's throwing the acid in the face of his brother. But yeah, this hand, it's like that crawling towards, and it turns over in the grass like that. And then pops and shrinks back into human hand. All very dramatic, very shrill, very piercing. It's a clever combination. High strings, church organ. So that's it, because she's driven him off basically. And you'll see him later. Look what your fucking friend did to me. As he has this bloody stump. He's like, I don't know. And of course, she legs it to the colony centre where she meets Eddie, who then chomps her. So we are, in fact. This is where she finds all the information that they're all, the colony's basically werewolves in the filing cabinet. So she phones her husband to try and get him to come and help her. Gets get some silver bullets. And it's clever as well because when she opens this filing cabinet and she's looking at all this information, suddenly a big fairy hand comes in and passes her another one, and she goes, fucking 8 foot tall werewolf, and fucking backhands her, back paws her, boosh! There's me saying I wasn't going to review the film. No. The film's awesome. I love those sustained cymbal clashes, shivery cymbals. Some of this is dialed out in the movie as well. So it's only when you get the actual soundtrack, you get to hear the full score. It's even got electronic stingers and synthesized samples at the end as bonus tracks. And it's a weird sequence this, because when he kills, I forgot her name, what's her name? Terry, her name's Terry, Belinda Blasky. He picks her up like that, it's like this big snout like that, it's in her face, sniffing it, like that. And then her little legs are going, as she's been picked up Darth Vader style like that. And he goes, gently puts the bite on it. It's a really eerie scene. He's obviously bitten into her throat, but he doesn't tear it out, he just punches it. And then you see her, it's like, it's almost sensual. And she'll jitter and judder to a halt. Like that. And her feet will just go. And it's kind of horrible the way they do it. Instead of just being like, tear your throat out, your head goes flying off, which would have been dramatic enough. It's kind of weird that he just does it in a gentle sort of fashion like that. And a little bit more disturbing because of it. Anyway, folks, The Howling is awesome. And so when you're munching on your Easter eggs tomorrow, when Easter Bunny has come calling, remember, it could have been worse. It could have been a big bad wolf. So, folks, oh yeah. Today, I'm sporting the, some of you know what I'm going to say next, resplendent Spirit of Scotland. Why? The Spirit of Scotland. And me and Mrs. Kilt-Man are about to, after this is finished recording, go out for the rest of the day to a place we haven't been to for a long, long time, Ormskirk. So Ormskirk, I don't think has ever encountered Kilt-Man. They're going to. Oh, they're going to. This will be a day that will live long in the history of Ormskirk as Kilt-Man invades. So folks, in the meantime, I'm going to speak to you certainly tomorrow for Easter to wish you all the best. Happy Easter. Whatever it means to you all. And I'll have some other kind of rampaging bullshit to offer you. In the meantime, stay safe, stay happy. Don't eat too much chocolate. Come on now. Look after yourself. Drink whiskey instead. And I've still got this bloody thing on my nose. I can now tell you how it happened. What happened was, a bloody big megalodon shark surfaced in the River Mersey the other day, and there was a ferry boat full of school kids. Kilt-Man could not allow these school kids to be devoured by this megalodon. So, in my best Statham mode, Jason Statham, I leapt in the fucking water, didn't I? I fucking swam out there, and I went, oi! Megalodon! Fucking Statham here! Now! You put that fucking ferry down! And then I put the fucking nut on him, didn't I? I fucking batted him. You fucking get back to the deep blue, you briny bastard. That was Jason Statham crept in there. And I got a little scar out of it. He headbutted me back. Anyway, folks, enough ridiculousness for now. I'm going to see you all later. See y'all.